where he is weak, TeebuL is strong. And let's see if he can capitalize on this map advantage he's earned himself for doing so well in the round of 4 here. From Genesis, in the blue, representing Pakistan, this is TeebuL.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side, representing Mind Freak Esports. He just absolutely steamed through a beautiful TVT series with a 3-0. In the bottom left, it is Seither.
Alrighty. So very keen to see what the plan is here from TeebuL. Again, I kind of just assume that there's going to be a Dark Shrine pretty quickly in a few of these games. But he does play quite good macro as well, and I'm kind of expecting Seither to play pretty close to his chest here. I don't expect any madness from Seither. I know that Mind Games was like something that he does like to do in TVP from time to time. I feel like that's more reserved for Probe rather than TeebuL though, because they've got a bit more of a back and forth. I think they have a bit more of a relationship, a rivalry. TeebuL and Seither's rivalry is quite fresh, and very back and forth lately.
Probe will push that greed a bit further than TeebuL as well. Probe's kind of like, if you don't come at me with something like, you know, I will get ahead, you know. Whereas TeebuL, I think, is a little bit less greedy, kind of late game focus. So I think Seither should be a bit more confident, just kind of, you know, traversing to the mid game without looking for that big knockout punch.
Yeah, Seither getting a good scout of the main base here. All pretty normal and pretty hunky-dory here for TeebuL on his side of the map. So it's like a Gateway Nexus core.
Yeah. Well, it is a pull-off gas for Seither, so he's going for that very efficient 3 racks. That's all the rage right now. Looks like he'll go for a bunker as well, so super safe, not leaving any openings at all. And SCV probe trait. Fight, fight, fight. Aww. I like when workers fight in the middle of the map, Maynard. Gets me excited. These two cowards want to go mine minerals instead.
These macro cowards. Grow a pair and get aggressive. Put some structures on the other side of the map, for God's sake.
Meaningless jewel in the middle of the map where neither of you is going to let your worker die, so there's literally no point doing it. Twilight Council on the way. So with this second and third barracks, you know, it's a very solid build. TeebuL won't have any warning of it, of course, until about the 4 minute, maybe 4 minute 20 mark when Seither starts moving out on that map. Till then, it is just going to be Tech Labs coming on. And it is the sentry opening again. So yeah, TeebuL's opened up the exact same way he did against Razor game 1. He's like, yep, gonna just get an early hallucination, play a 2-gate blink, probably looking for a third base off of this opening. And that is a little vulnerable, but the hallucination should give him warning. So he should be able to see the 3 racks before he commits to a Nexus.
Hallucinated Oracle being sent out here from TeebuL. Obviously not as quick as a Phoenix, but does have the extra added benefit of making the Terran sweat potentially a little bit.
Marines went out there. They were hoping to catch the Adept. They weren't able to.
Yeah. Good old 3 racks, man. My favorite kind of timing-based build order, which Raza is going to scout.
Yeah. So in this scenario, there's 3-gate blink on the way for TeebuL. Now, TeebuL hasn't committed to a Robo Maynard. And you know what? Seeing a 3 racks, you don't need to. If he wants to, he could just basically play just pure Blink Stalkers, take a third, add charge, maybe get a Forge if he wants upgrades. Question is, I feel like this is really good when you scout at 3 racks early. It feels like Protoss should be ahead. That's if they're good at doing the balancing act. If they're good at getting that third down and then defending it. And if TeebuL over defends, plays a bit too safe here, and Seither just kind of macros up, doesn't commit to his push, it's quite possible that this does end up good for the Terran as a quick factory goes down. No engineering bay yet? Okay, there we go. It does start. So he's going to go +1 weapons and into medevacs all at a pretty damn good time. And I definitely feel like this pokeout's a good idea for Seither, but interestingly, he hasn't scouted at all, so he has no idea if there's a third Rax or anything. A third Nexus, sorry, on the other side.
Yeah, I was going to say, definitely knows about the 3 racks thanks to the scouted Oracle, but yeah, is there a third Nexus or not? If there's not a third Nexus, pushing out like this can hurt the Terran a lot more than it hurts the Protoss.
Definitely not through there. Don't go. No, Seither, don't go up there. No.
It's a trap.
Oh, okay.
Force field not quite on point there.
Little conservative for TeebuL, yeah. And, you know, this is okay for Seither as long as he doesn't overcommit and just goes home. This is a pretty late third, 5 minutes 15 for the Protoss. And it's, okay, good movement by TeebuL. He spots him. Stalkers are coming over there. The bio, will he fight for the Watchtower? No, he's just going to give it up, I think. Oh, no. Ooh. Gets a stim out of the bio for nothing,
A bit of a scuffle there.
TeebuL immediately goes DT Shrine. I was like, yeah, you can go forge stuff. You could do other things. I wasn't expecting DT Shrine this fast. He is obsessed. It is his default in every scenario. Really, he loves it.
I told you, man. I told you, man. The Invisible Man Clubhouse. It's just it's just that thing that he loves to do. But I think that at this point, it's becoming a bit predictable, and people are going to start punishing it super hard eventually too.
I don't know. SOS made Blink DT in every single one of his last few months of Pro PvP's work, and I was like, okay, this seems kind of obvious, SOS. And he's like, no, I don't need to do damage with it. It's just this great utility tool. And sometimes we do overemphasize the DT Shrine, right? Like, yeah, if you put everything else aside to get it, sure. But in this case, he's just adding it in there while going 8-gate charge and adding a forge, right? So this is, if he ends up getting rolled, it's not just, oh, he built like a DT Shrine for 150 minerals, 150 gas. It's a lot of other things adding into that. Oh, great pullback. The sentry there looked tempting, but he pulls back immediately because he knows he's got to join up with this army. He's got to get those units back to the medevacs.
Yep. Medevacs here actually turn the tide. The Stalkers could probably win this scuffle until the medevacs and the reinforcements show up, and then the shoe is on the other foot. The turntables turn, as they say.
How the turntables turn, Maynard, indeed. Right now, Seither should back off. His units in those medevacs are deep orange and red. His army's deep orange and red. I don't think he has any business pushing right now. Maybe this pays off big, but it's incredibly high risk.
Zero detection at home for Seither either. Even though he's got the engineering bag up, he's just concerned about getting those attack upgrades. The DTs are just going to walk on in.
Uh-oh. He does see the DT shrines, so he should be aware, but he's got no units at home. Dude, these DTs are going to slaughter at the same time. 10 probes go down on the third base. One DT does fall. Another one in the main, though, tearing it up. Both sides taking big damage right now. I'm not sure who's going to come out on top.
I mean, the damage is pretty significant on both sides. Oh, good dodge of that scan there from that DT from TeebuL. The other one in the natural already dead. Are there any scans left for Seither?
Don't know if he has another scan right now. He will in a moment. There we go.
Okay.
15 workers,
SCVs.
though.
That's 5. Really good for TeebuL.
Yeah, the last 5 really just topped that off so nicely. And the DT's picking off Marauders on the map as well. And DT Blink is coming in. And TeebuL, he's going to be very set to base trade off of this style. Just Blink DT. This is exactly the way SOS has been doing it in the last few months before he retired. It was just, I get Blink DT, I look for opportunities, and they inevitably present themselves.
Oh, these medevacs are not going home. Easy pickoffs there for TeebuL. And all map presence of the Terran has been stripped away from this Protoss. The DTs did what they needed to do. I can guarantee you that if TeebuL wins this game, Seither is going to be thinking about DTs in every game from here on out. Oh, did he see the... Okay, well, he got the swipe off, so easy scan, easy kill.
And coming in with even more. Oh my god, he just clicks on the turret! Psychopath! Absolute psychopath! There's not enough fire to kill the DTs instantly, so he gets in there. Oh, this is so frustrating for Seither to deal with.
Oh, these DTs kind of getting suicidal a little bit there. Seither not watching his army in the middle of the map. There we go. He starts stimming, but it's a flank here of charge lots and the Stalkers on the south side. Just gateway units from TeebuL, but more than enough to fight back this bio head-to-head.
7 SCVs going down. Even more taking damage right now.
Oh, he's got no scans.
Oh, dude. This is so frustrating for Seither to deal with.
Yeah, I think that... I'm going to reiterate that I think that Seither's going to be worried about DTs for the rest of this series. Because TeebuL is the man with the shrine. He loves the DTs, the invisible men. And that blink, he's out of there. That's such a good usage of the DTs here for TeebuL. And Seither's on such a back foot. The only way I can see him getting back into this game is just catching a ton of gateway units and finding a really good fight somehow.
TeebuL out on that top left side with the Stalkers. He's looking to catch this, but that's a lot of bio, so Seither could trade this out pretty well.
Yeah, Stalker's not really a problem for this army. He can trade out pretty nicely here. But charge lots, different story.
Gets all the Stalkers, though, so he should be able to pick up and leave even if he wants to. Oh, he's got even more bio coming in.
He wants to fight it.
Yeah.
Widowmine's coming into the mix.
There's
good split from TeebuL.
Too many Zealots, though. I think he will get swarmed.
Oh, this Widowmine's getting some good shots in the pack of the Zealots there. But yeah, it looks like a little bit too much Protoss as the dust settles. And the problem for Seither is that he's still focused on fighting the Gateway army. He's still focused on tightening up his defenses against these DTs. TeebuL's about to start heading towards Disruptors or Colossi. Either of them, honestly, are going to be a problem for Seither at the moment.
Good spotting there. Doesn't let that DT do any damage. Does start a missile turret. Starting Ghosts, which is good. That means he won't have to scan for every single one of those Dark Templar. Seither is, of course, slightly up in army value. As I say that, 5 Zealots warp in and reverse that situation. Double Colossus production. The moment range and a couple Colossus are on the field, I mean, this is just a foregone conclusion. TeebuL being up in supply, up in tech, up a base, up 20 workers, there's no advantages here for Seither. Ghosts are not going to cut it. So looks like TeebuL's just built a solid and most likely insurmountable advantage in game 1. And it looked okay early on for Seither, but TeebuL with that scouting, I do feel the 3-rack's very good as a build choice against a player who doesn't scout. Somebody goes 4-gate blink, somebody goes 3-gate blink without the sentry, right? Any of those build orders. But TeebuL opened up so safe to get a feel for things, doesn't let Seither surprise him with the 3-racks, and this is why TeebuL has been in charge this entire game.
Mr. Counterattacks, catching Seither with his pants down. Seither does not have the army supply to split defensively and attack at the same time, and he needs to attack. He needs to slow down the Protoss. But now there's Colossi Pig.
Nice force field just by the time EMP goes down, but the force fields are already out.
I think Seither's about to tap.
Yeah, he's losing so much to those DTs, Maynard, and those... Dude, just using them well. Oh, the friendly fire vines! Take out a bunch of Widow vines.
Like super all in with this army here, and that army is not going to crack these charge lots, not going to crack those multiple Colossi. And this is just an easy, should be rather, an easy hold for TeebuL as the extra couple of Colossi come down that ramp. Lots of Marauders still. Overcharged shield battery though.
Even take out 2 Colossus, so
yeah,
let's get the nice little prize at the end of that. Makes you feel a bit better killing Colossus. As a Terran, it's therapeutic, Maynard.
That's right. Oh, TeebuL catching Seither with the DTs. Honestly, amazed that Seither wasn't thinking about that, because I am, you know, a pretty newbie player, and I've seen as many TeebuL games as I think Seither has, but potentially not. I assume Seither watched the Raza TeebuL series.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely would have for sure. It's just one of those things where those DTs, they catch you out. I mean, you saw Seither putting a turret down, and the DTs kind of walk in, and it's like, man, they're just not quite ready in time. Yeah,
to be fair, like there's so many times when even like professional level Terrans will be like, oh, it's the 11-minute mark, and the Protoss has been awfully quiet, and then you're like, what was I meant to do right now? Oh yeah, put turrets in every single mineral line. That's what you're meant to do right now. Then you just forget because you just focus on something else. StarCraft 2 is a hard game. It's a hard game.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you got to manage all at once, but a very nice victory there to kick things off for TeebuL. Once again, setting the pace with a controlling game 1. That's how he likes to start his PvT series. He's willing to get very dirty as time goes on. He always wants to start out just feeling things out, defending and striking when the iron is hot. So very nice defensive macro and counterattacks. The graphic at the start of the series nailed it.
Certainly did. We're going to take a short break, guys. When we return, though, the grand final resumes for Game 2 between TeebuL and Seither. Don't go away. We'll see you then. G'day StarCraft fans and welcome back to the grand finale here of the Oceanic Restoration main event here for DreamHack Masters Winter. I am Maynard, with me as Pig, and currently in our grand finale, TeebuL is actually up 2-0. In mind, we've only had one game played, but TeebuL has got the one map advantage from winning the upper bracket. Seither still looking for a win here.
Indeed, one game isn't going to change that by any means, but Dark Templar definitely will hurt your confidence, I think, a little bit there. As started out, of course, good, and things turn south very quickly as the Dark Templar find the mineral lines. The SCV count starts dropping like flies, and an unfortunate turn of events. It looked like a decent early game, but definitely would like to see something maybe a little bit more ambiguous. It's always tough when the Protoss uses that hallucinated Phoenix Scout and sees everything that goes on early, but the 3-rack's one of the least flexible builds. So once you're scouted, you don't have a lot of flexibility in terms of, oh, I'll just quickly, turn and go into Widow Mine drop or anything. Well, you don't even have a factory, so you don't really have any choice. Protoss can kind of put you in a box a little bit, and TeebuL did just that.
He certainly did. And the no real phase of that game went well for Seither. He started to recover after the initial scuffle was, had concluded there from the 3-rack's attack. But the DTs really put him back on the, against the ropes, and he didn't really have a way to stabilize after that. Could not find his footing. Can he do it here on Beckett? That's a pretty quick probe coming across the map. This is Seither.
His opponent, a big fan of Zest, does like to send that probe across here just to harass, delay the barracks, and be safe. This is TeebuL. And he did manage to delay the barracks by a second or two. Forces it to not be in the wall as well. It's just keeping an SCV busy following you and just being a nuisance. So a good way to start things off and make sure it's very difficult to get TeebuL down with any sort of cheeky shenanigans. It is a very short map, so curious to see how Seither approaches this one. Tank push is amazing here. 3-rack's amazing here. But you can just play standard stuff. Widow Mine drops still. It's not like they're suddenly bad just because it's a small map. And I wonder if TeebuL brings out any special sauce. I don't feel DTs have nearly as much utility on such a small map.
Yeah. I actually think that this map was, you kind of touched at the beginning, just for anyone that missed it. I feel like this map is really good for the proxy Void Ray, if TeebuL wanted to do that. Seither coming in here with the SCV. He's going to be able to get a pylons count here with the SCV, which is important. As TeebuL is hiding one up to the north side of the map here.
Building a Zealot. He's also going for the gas steal. He does lose the probe in the process, but yeah, he's 100% going for the proxy Void Ray, and he's saying, hey, you can't build tech units now. So Seither is going to have to invest in either pulling SCVs to kill that refinery, which is the standard response, or he's going to have to go extra barracks with his defense.
All right, well, looks like it might get scouted by the SCV. He is doing the rounds here on the other side of the map. Changed the pathing there on that SCV in the last second.
I can see they might want to go Widow Mines because the Starport and the Vikings are really important. Widow Mines are a good in-between, very cheap on the gas, heavy on the mineral response. He might do that just to take advantage of the fact that, yeah, you delayed me, but that's a nice way to change things up so you still get the Starport Viking production going and you get some anti-air out to zone out the first few voids. For now, though, he is going the Tech Lab immediately on that factory. No Starport down just yet, Maynard.
Tech Lab Factory does have access to the Cyclone, which is a great stop for Proxy Stargate, which is just going to be the Oracle, by the way. I expected that Void Ray. That's a surprise to me.
Well, this is a really good response then. I think because TeebuL, he would like to bait an over response, wouldn't he? He'd love to get an over response. Oracle's not a kill move. He just drops the Nexus behind it. And this kind of in-between response from Seither, it's perfect for this situation. Cyclone's going to shut down the Oracle, still got the command center up, drops the Starport behind this. Oh, Seither with the very well mapped out build. Oracle will get 1 or 2 SCVs. Cyclone's not ready just yet.
Yeah, it's going to pop in a couple seconds here, but there's some bruised SCVs from earlier. Going to be softened up and easy prime targets for that Cyclone, for the Oracle, rather. Oh, is that Oracle dead?
Vision?
Oh,
he
you're
didn't
kidding.
move the Cyclone quick enough, so he didn't keep vision of it. Even though it was still in range, you do need vision for that to maintain lock on Oracle. Gets a fresh, not a fresh, but it's like a half finished mule, 2 SCVs, and does escape. So very well done there by TeebuL. And of course, Seither going to move down to retake his expansion. Blink and 2nd and 3rd gateway on the way. TeebuL going to move up into a more standard setup, but he's very intentionally and very successfully just kind of messed with Seither's opening, forced this to be a bit of a messier game than Seither would like.
Well, Seither on the back foot a little bit here. Hasn't been able to secure that natural just yet. As TeebuL's natural is finishing up. Blink as the follow-up. Adepts coming through and seeing that there's multiple cyclones here, not just the one. So Seither is going to go out on the map and see what he can get done here. That Adept is dead.
Two cyclones. I don't know why two cyclones. Maybe a bit heavy because Blinkstalk is so good versus this. Obviously very good if there's more air units, but he's not going to find any utility with that. And if he drops and runs cyclones in to 3-gate Stalker, I mean, Blink's going to be finished in about maybe 40 seconds time. This could be successful for Seither, but if he loses all these units without any real damage, it's going to be a massive swing in TeebuL's favor. His counterattack with the Stalkers could be deadly.
Oh, Stasis Ward nearly pulling a stop on that plan with those cyclones. We'd love to get rid of that proxy, obviously. That would be nice for these cyclones. They might be on the hunt for it. Drop into the main base. Still unscouted by TeebuL.
DT Shrine on the way. TeebuL, oh my god, he is obsessed. He really is the Dark Shrine man. And Marine Drop catches him off. Blink is finished, but he leaves so quickly. Gets 4 probes, gets out, saves all the units. Lovely play by Seither. Nice.
Didn't see the Dark Shrine, though. And you mentioned that TeebuL is a fan of Zest, and I do remember there was a period of time. Oh, that medevac in trouble here. Has boost, though. Zest at one period in time was Mr. DTs in PvT as well. TeebuL trying to do his best impression here.
Yeah. There still is that in late game, but not this early. This is wild early DT shenanigans. But as you said, Seither's going to be thinking about it for the rest of the series. He did just finish an eBay. He starts his +1. I wouldn't be surprised if a turret comes down in the near future.
Yeah. As hopefully game 1 was a bit of a lesson there for Seither. A blink in the main, questionable blink from TeebuL.
Yeah. Cyclone say no.
And it looked like Seither was trying to get that Stasis Ward to fire off there. A few units get caught, but obviously not as good a catch as anywhere what TeebuL would have wanted. Does trade a lot of Stalkers for not a whole lot of utility there.
It's going to go charge and blink DT. Oh, TeebuL is playing full-on filthy style tonight. This is a very good way to go into a series where, you know, your opponent's going to have to be so scared, even if this doesn't work out for the rest of the series, because DT blink charge lot, that is a very high damage composition. Charge Zealots will, of course, just charge from the front. DTs will blink behind, take down your tanks, trap your units in position. They're kind of like a unit force field, essentially. Very hard to start a step when there's Dark Templar behind and Zealots in front.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The Shadow Stride into the army to become the cup that you can't escape as a Terran for the rest of the Protoss units to just dive in and rip them all to pieces. Shadow Stride and the Dark Shrine in general still not noticed by Seither, and still no turret.
Yeah.
No real scouting from Seither at all. He's playing very blindly here.
TeebuL does such a good job of controlling the map with the Stalkers, and if there's no turret, honestly, yeah, these DTs could cause so much. But he's just dropped mules. I mean, honestly, DTs could have walked in here, even in the midst of this, and probably done huge damage. But look at the way. Solid macro, defense, and then counterattack. So he waits for Seither to move on the map. We've talked about this being Seither's weak point. And, oh my lord, the DT's waiting. He's going to walk into that natural. 2 of them right now. One's going to go straight into the main, I think. One will start hitting workers on the natural. More DTs warping in at home, getting ready to blink on those tanks once they set up.
And now you're in your awkward spot where your army's too far away to come home to defend, and you have to decide, do I scan at home or do I scan offensively? And it looks like Seither actually doesn't have a scan. The main is about to have one. The natural's just milled.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a big problem here for Seither. As I think we're going to see Ravens for the rest of this series, Maynard.
I think so.
This is just so frustrating to deal with. Oh no, he's going to lose a medevac with a tank in it.
Well, TeebuL's so confident here that he's just like, I'm going to attack into this. This is a terrible position for me to attack into, but here we go.
You don't have detection. The DTs can't be dealt with. Oh, my lord. What a frustrating way to lose the first couple of games here in this grand finals.
Yeah, just the invisible man doing what it does best. Be annoying.
Yeah, it's just using that invisibility, not to do good in the world, but to poke Terran players in the back of the head sharply. It's very, very frustrating, and Seither does go out, just not quite spotting that DT Shrine with his Marine drop. And very hard to scout in this matchup. You know, this is something, it's always the question, well, why don't Terrans just scout a little bit better for it? You got to remember that every scan costs a lot of minerals, and those Blink Stalkers are such a good tool. Once that Blink's kicked in, anytime Terran goes in there, it's probably going to be a one-way trip. So it's very, very dangerous. It's not something where you can reliably scout what's up. A scan as well. Are you going to scan every single base? Because it could be in any one of the 3 bases. You're not going to scan 3 times to try and find a DT shrine. It's just one of those things where he was a little greedy at home behind it, dropping everything into mules and not having an auto turret ready.
Yeah, it's easy to be on the sidelines, like to sit in our armchairs just covered in like Dorito dust and have our shirt like rolled up a little bit so our navel's showing and just yell at the TV like, just scare the Dark Shrine. It's you know, it's easier said than done. And also, you know, that when you start scanning for the Dark Shrine, that'll be the game when there isn't one.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've missed 2 or 3 mules, which could have been fantastic for your next round of units to hold whatever charge lot all in comes in game 4 or whatever. You know, it's just unfortunate that the first 2 games have rolled out this way for Seither.
Yeah, Seither was going for a very beastly 2-base timing attack, but TeebuL's such an expert at backstabbing that he seems to just waltz right through these periods of the game where his army's weaker, because he doesn't let you fight when you want to fight. And I've always talked about how Terran is a race where you really want all of your upgrades, all your army to kind of get together, and you're like, okay, I got +1, I got stim, I've got combat shields, it's all lining up, we are ready to go, let's fight, I got 4 siege tanks, yeah. And there is this natural strong point for a short window of time. And TeebuL is such an expert here in just kind of saying, no. Like, I'm always going to be striking where you're not ready. My stalkers are harassing you. My DTs are backstabbing. I'm not giving you the opportunity to just chill on out here and do your thing. Like, you really have to be applying, I think, trying to find a way to apply more pressure to TeebuL, but it's kind of hard because his stalkers are so active.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, one of the things I would suggest, honestly, to keep up with scouting as well as, you know, slow the Protoss down. That's the reason why Widowmine drops are such a thing. Yeah. It's not only because they can be difficult to deal with. The medevac is also a scouting unit. You know, you will see what's happening on the Protoss side of the map, what they're making. They're forced to defend with what they have, so they have to show what they have. And you get a good fly through the 2nd and 3rd, hopefully, Nexus as well to have a look at what's happening in the main. And Seither did have a drop, to be fair, and he was very close to scouting the shrine. You know, those 8 Marines came into the mineral line, killed a few probes, then bounced. And that's what the medevac is for. That's what the harassment is for. You know, Liberators, to a lesser extent, can also be that as well. So those are the kind of builds that I hope Seither can maybe roll back into. Like, it's a little bit vanilla, it's a little bit ho-hum, it's a little bit boring. But just a 1-1-1 with a Widowmine drop. Something like that, you know, just to try and keep the Protoss a little bit more honest and hopefully do a bit of damage in the meantime.
Well, you know, Maynard, 100% in this next map, TeebuL's not going to make DTs until late game as well.
Oh, absolutely not. No, there won't be any more DT shrines.
There will be a Raven and Engineering Bay and turrets and all this sort of stuff, and he's not going to. He's going to play Colossus this game. I guarantee you, Big Brain TeebuL is thinking, or maybe even Storm. He might just do like a Storm Charge, because if you force them to go like Raven Tank, Storm, Drop, Chargelet Archon's so good against that army. So, yeah, I really feel like TeebuL, one step ahead, obviously couple of steps ahead in terms of the scoreline already with these DT shenanigans. All the pressure is on Seither, and he's got to make sure that he definitely stays non-simplistic, I guess, because TeebuL's a slippery one, man. He's not going to sit still. He's not going to keep doing the same thing. As I say that, cast a curse? I don't know.
Yeah, we're like, oh, he's absolutely not going to make a Dark Shrine again in this series. He's going to make Seither fear the Dark Shrine and then not make it again.
Not in the first 7 minutes of this game. After 7 minutes, anything goes. But this game,
that's when a normal shrine goes down, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the normal shrine timing when you know, late game, you have to drop down those turrets. Yeah. Now Seither's going to be dropping turrets in his main and natural and on top of his production and just like, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Meanwhile, TeebuL's just taking a 4th Nexus, double forward, just like, no. In the bottom right here from Mindfreak. Yet to do any damage in this series, but I still believe. From Mindfreak, this is Seither.
And his opponent in the top left side of the map, dominating this tournament so far. This is Genesis Gaming's TeebuL. I believe he's at a 3-0 score.
3-0, yeah. Yep. It's yeah, the 1-0 from the winners bracket. Yep, thank you. Good fix. So that does mean that TeebuL is on match point. If Seither doesn't win this game, it's going to end right here.
That is a possibility and a very real one. But Seither, dude, He fought back hard in a couple of his series so far in this tournament. I mean, he has really been all over it, and definitely not one who's going to go down too easily, I think. Here on Romanticide, he's opening up with the double gas, the very early probe again. No secrets against TeebuL. Now, this hurts the Protoss economy. The crazy thing is, this is meant to put the Protoss a little bit behind, sending a probe across that early. TeebuL has this just amazing quality of not caring about it, and he's once again going double gas himself. Ooh.
Okay. Boxed in the probe here.
So I think it might just be, I mean, if you think about it, because it's got to be like kind of one base tech versus one base tech, Maynard. I mean, I think probably Hellion did see the scout at all, by the way. He didn't, right?
He's gonna kill the SCV.
Ooh.
Oh,
good drill there. That one SCV had his buddies back, got him back
True.
up to just barely survive. But yeah, I think like Widowmine Hellion drop, really good standard play from here. I wonder if it's one base Phoenix or TeebuL into an expand. Yeah, okay, this is such a good build. Where basically you're kind of, especially with the probe scout, because against this you know there's a very high chance of Seither trying to do a drop, Widowmines or Hellions. I think what TeebuL wants to do is he should make sure that his third pylon and any extra structures are out front his natural, so he can wall that off just in time to block any Hellions darting, because he's not going to have many units on the ground, TeebuL. So he's going to be very much relying on just lots of Phoenix to kind of shut down the medevac getting inside the main.
instantly going into Wintermine production is Seither here from the reacted factory as soon as the reactor's finished. And he's going for the 1-1-1. Does look a little bit more like he's shaping up to do the kind of build that I, kind of suggested in the pre-game there. But like you mentioned, Pig, that Stargate Phoenix is just perfect against what we're seeing at the moment. Obviously, it's not great against Wintermines, but eventually, when you have enough, super shuts the stuff down.
Marine does see that there's a Nexus on the way, sees it's delayed though, does not see the tech. And once there's 3 or 4 Phoenix out, they're going to do really well. Oh, is this non-stop Widowmine drops, Maynard?
The armory's coming down, so it's a good sign. Ooh,
oh,
good
nice
at
dodge.
depth shade bait. Well done. That's easier said than done.
Doesn't really get anything out of it, to be honest, but it looked cool.
Yeah, it gets to flex in front of a couple thousand people.
Robo's on the way now as well. Very important to, of course, detect these Widow Mines. If they get burrowed in the mineral lines and get a few big shots off, there is always a good chance here for Seither, who's building that command center on the high ground, investing in the armory, and this Widow Mine drop. Very expensive. No extra medevac just yet. There we go. Okay, yeah. He is going to go for at least a second round as well. So very committed. The Phoenix play is the counter to this, but you've got to be able to find the drop. And TeebuL, right now, he's out there looking. It's very dangerous to be out there looking, because if you don't actually find it, and it hits you and you're halfway out across the map, well, your Phoenix aren't doing their job. So he's going to pull them back to a more centralized location. He's got the Stargate spotting in the top left of his base. This is such a fragile spot, especially for Seither. I do feel TeebuL, with his early scouting, has the edge here. But we'll keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, Armory Widowmine drop is, extremely scary. Even when you, I don't know if he's aware of the fact that these Widowmine's going to be cloaked, but...
Well, he's building an Immortal, not an Observer. So yeah, that's actually really good for Seither. And he's going to hit both bases at once. Seither just waiting to double prong it? Oh my lord. And at this point, you're wondering, is this even coming? Is he swapping into something else? What's going on? TeebuL's wondering what's going on. And these Widowmines, at least some will get in.
Yeah, looks like we got a lift up on... Oh, okay. I mean, all those Widowmines have been lefted, but the other one is about to drop. Here's the main base, though.
Ooh.
Split from the probes from TeebuL. Oh, not good enough, unfortunately. He's still losing quite a few.
Oh, we still got one Widowmine that has not fired just yet. And it will just fire on the Phoenix. Overall, 8 probes. Not the end of the world there. As the... Oh, there was already an Observer out. Pre-Immortal. Okay. Dude,
Yeah, just up in the main base.
Unless that Widowmine gets back in and gets a good shot off, I think this is a good enough hold for TeebuL. Even though the work account looks good for Seither, his production's very weak. He has very few units at home. I think it should be enough to defend the Phoenix, though.
Yeah, Viking, Cyclone, handful of Marines. It's another Viking as well. So yeah, it looks pretty good for Seither's chances against these Phoenixes. So they're not going to get too much reverse damage on the other side of the map. In fact, he kills the Phoenix there. Very nice. I would actually love that Widowmine to go onto the probe line rather than just shoot off on a Phoenix. Oh, doesn't quite hit it.
Yeah, go for it. I'd love that as well, Manny. I don't know. Do you think TeebuL even knows it's there? I feel like he doesn't realize.
I don't think so. You kind of got to pay attention to see that Widowmine burrowed circle.
Yeah, and there's no reason to really be looking at that corner of the
Oh,
main
yes.
base.
I'm in.
Oh!
Ah, good spot from TeebuL. Dang.
No. Okay, you can target fire that. Yeah, he does. Oh, nicely done. Gets 3 probes.
Oh, nah. That's pretty good. I'd be happy with that.
Not bad.
If every Widowmine I ever made killed 3 probes, I'd be like, yeah, damn, that's pretty good.
Burrowed in your main base, it shoots across the map. Yeah, I'd be down with that too.
Terrans are like, I like this new patch. The Phoenixes show up into the main base. No turret here. So a bunch of free SCVs.
The Mule was about to expire anyway, so a bit of bad luck there for TeebuL. Good luck for Seither, but he chose to pick that one up at that time. And looks like a tank bio push. A very 2-basey setup here for Seither in 7 minutes, Maynard. My prediction comes true. No DTs.
We did it.
We did it, fam. Wait, he'll bring it back next game. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. he'll lose one game and go, why did I play this non-DT build and then get back into the Invisible Man?
I can see all of my units.
Yeah.
Stupid.
He's like, I just feel like these units would be better if they were invisible.
And if they
make a mothership? No, that's too expensive.
And if they do 60 damage a hit, that'd be cool too, yeah.
Yeah.
Colossus count's growing though. Tank's good versus Colossus if they can get the siege up. Often it comes down to that kind of first clash, right? Of the tanks versus the Colossus with this matchup of builds, because 3rd command center is super slow for Seither. And the thing is, he's still building SCVs, so it feels like he will build a 3rd behind this. He's going to try to do an 8 Marine drop. Kind of risky given the Phoenix are out on the map, but he will be able to snake past.
Yeah.
Chases the Phoenix into his drop.
Oh, yeah, almost. Almost. Looks like that Medevac's going to get away with it. Going to be heading across the map against TeebuL here. Phoenix is still concerned about picking off SCVs and maybe catching a tank or something really cool, or a Medevac. That'd be awesome for these Phoenixes. But the move out is real.
Star Turret does defend the base there nicely. And I think that's the 3rd Colossus on the way. He's got a shield battery out front. Decent Zealot count. Charge isn't quite done, so TeebuL definitely wants to delay the engagement. And picking off into the reinforcements as they come across. Doesn't quite catch the Medevacs, which is very good.
Natural getting dropped now. TeebuL did have an observer there, but I think maybe not looking at the minimap at the right time. So these warp-ins are a little bit slow. He doesn't have the pylons close enough to the Nexus. Oh, the Colossus getting pounced on, but see the disengaging. A little bit, a lack of confidence after seeing that ground army.
Too many gateway units on the ground for sure. Yeah, and I agree. A wise lack of confidence from Seither. That's a big army. TeebuL's worker count's kind of low, and now charge kicks in. Uh-oh.
Now the Marines picking off a few more probes as they begin to die, but
is
Seither going to get cut off from home here? A lot of his bio is extremely exposed.
Oh, the Colossus is in the open, though. Colossus is in the open. Both sides kind of running into each other out here on the map. Oh no, Seither's caught.
No, Seither's stuck. He's caught.
He's doing damage to TeebuL, but I think his tanks don't have time to get siege. He's going to boost them as far as he can before he unloads the sieges, but this is a really rough spot for Seither. Going to try and fight behind the minerals. He's cornered, dude. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh man, Seither just getting caught with his pants down up at the top side of the map, losing everything. He's killed a lot of probes, but Seither's just grabbing everything and throwing it at this army of TeebuL. The charge lot's still a huge problem for him, though, and there it is. Seither just got demolished by TeebuL in this grand final. Teeb's going to get the 4-0 victory and confirm himself as the champion of the rest of Asia region.